What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus and just how we drew it up. Right, Lex? Just how we drew it up. Undefeated in league play. Listen, we all wanted the victory show. This one is an infuriating draw for me for so many different reasons, and we're going to tackle it all together. I'm happy to have Lex with me today. Lex, how you doing?
I'm good. As good as I can be after that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, look at this. We got, want to bet if Lucci or Lex on the show, and that's why it's taken longer to start. It's actually my fault too. Okay, I will take blame on this one. Okay, I'm having some internet issues, so just wanted to make sure it was dialed in. So take it easy. Take it easy. I'll take the bullet for you, Lex, okay? It is
Thanks.
on
Go
me
on.
too. Now, we've got a lot to tackle. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into. We also have the triple kick giveaway. A winner will be chosen on today's live. There were clues dropped through the content yesterday. So the diehards and even the guys that are locked into all the lives and everything would have got an extra clue to help you when the time comes this show, okay? But business is business, and we start off with Juve Fiorentina. There are news headlines out there. Danilo seems to be on the way out. We'll circle back to it after the game. Danilo seems to be on the way out. They're saying 2 defenders are coming in the month of January. Tomori, we get his price tag all in, 30 million euros. Again, we'll tackle it all and circle back to it. For the game, hey, starting lineup, Di Gregorio, Savona, Gatti, Kalulu. McKennie ends up starting at left back. Cambiaso just getting back into the lineup and whatnot. Locatelli, Thuram, Conceição, Cope Miners as the 10 spot again. Imbangula starting ahead of Yildiz, and then Vlahovic. What were your thoughts on seeing that lineup, Lex?
I think I wasn't too surprised by the lineup. He's also held Yildiz on the bench before. As we talked about earlier on another podcast, I don't know if he wants that impact from him off the bench or whatnot, but regardless, that was probably maybe the only piece that surprised me a little bit. But like I said, not as much as it might have because we've seen Malta do this before. And then McKennie keeping that left back spot was probably the other more or less surprise, but I mean, he's done very, very well there. So I feel like it's one of those situations where you play a little too well in a new role. Now the coach wants to keep you there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. The Yildiz one was probably the surprise, but I didn't think the wings would probably be an issue. I would look more towards what's happening usually in the middle and the interplay. And it's funny that we bring that up because that actually does play a part in the very first goal for Juventus. And I thought Juve started off pretty good. We were all kind of trying to figure out how this game was going to play out. Was Fiorentina going to sit and try to hit us on counters, which they are very good at? Were they going to try to take their share of possession? Were we going to be the ones to sit back and look to counter them? I actually thought it was going to be pretty much what we saw, which was each team taking their turn at possession and building up with the opportunity for transitions when the ball is lost or conceded there on possession. So that's essentially what we saw for the beginning. So pretty open. We shouldn't have an issue creating, and we didn't have an issue creating really in this game. But the way this thing starts off, 20 minutes in, this was beautiful from Juve, and we pull it up here. This starts off with something just seemingly out of nothing. Kalulu plays this ball to Locatelli here. You see the space opening up. Imbangula out the screen to the closest sideline to us is actually pinning a defender who's Dodo right against that sideline with him, marking him. Thuram's got space ahead of him here, and he just absolutely attacks it. And he's off to the races. And this all starts, again, something I said is we need to get the midfielders playing with one another like the interplay needs to pick up. Something so simple like this sparks an entire sequence like this. And Thuram, credit where it is due, he goes the distance and he slots this one home beautifully. Absolutely pumped for this guy. He's getting better and better and better. we've been talking for a while if this guy's a lock, and we'll get to it after the game. But this was a fantastic opening goal, and that's exactly how you want to start this game off if you're Juve. Thoughts on this play, Lex?
Oh, just awesome. What an exciting goal. Like just seeing him run the ball up like that, to have a player just score that aggressively, like just go to goal straight through the center. It was really refreshing to see. I feel like it's like been a while since we've seen a midfielder do that on our
What
team.
I think what I appreciated the most out of this play was watching him have absolutely zero friggin' hesitation about what he wanted to do. Because I don't know if anybody else feels that. I could
Yeah.
see it time and time again with certain guys. They get the ball and you're getting around this, and it's just like they're almost looking for somebody else. No, get the job done. Like go for it. Be decisive and make a difference. I loved that. I love that from Turan the most on this play was it was full steam ahead, and then we'll see what comes towards the end. And in the end, he's got his shot, he's got his lane, and he gets after it. Fantastic goal, absolutely pumped for him. The guy's a beast, and I said if he figures out the final third, watch out for this guy because it's gonna be lights out if he gets
Mhm.
that. So this was fantastic to see. And then we get to 18 minutes later. What the fuck are we doing on this cross? Like, what are we
Oh,
doing on this
yeah.
cross?
Yeah.
This is tragic defending. Like, the positioning here is just absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
I, I have no words. I have no words. If it wasn't Keane, it was Goodmanson right behind him. McKennie's not in a position to defend an aerial whatsoever. And Kalulu comes out, ending up zoning up, and he misses it. And it's just poor. Gatti's on nobody, standing back at the spot. Look at it. This was a mess. This was a mess. Absolute mess. Pissed me right off. Okay.
Mhm.
40th minute. 40th minute. This he does well. Vlahovic does well. He does everything right. Wins the area. Cope Miners, credit to him, taking these weighted over the top balls that we want to see us take some risks, try to hit those balls. It was a battle that went on all game with Vlahovic and Komutso, and he gets the better of him on this one. He does what he's got. He just hammers this thing. I thought he broke De Gea's arm, for God's sakes. But De Gea was already a couple yards out of his goal. He moved over to the right, and in the end, he got his hand is where it needed to be, and it doesn't go in. And Vlahovic, this is the way things are rolling, and he even knows it. He does a cross after, and he's smiling because he knows it's ridiculous that something like that can't even go for you. You hammer it on target. What you got to do? I don't know. I don't know. He took a lot of heat for not burying this one. Where you at on this one, Lex?
Yeah. I mean, just unlucky. Like I don't know, can you get any more unlucky than that? At some point you have to applaud De Gea for that save. Like at some point it's not no longer because of a lack of, you know, skill or quality from Vlahovic in that moment. I thought he did really well to strike the ball like that. He's almost like falling over as he does it too. But yeah, De Gea, I thought his wrist was broken for sure.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's just it is what it is. He did what he had to do on that one. If he flubbed it, then we're having a completely different story. But he absolutely came out of a cannon, and unfortunately, just wouldn't fall. We're level at ones going into halftime. Um, I don't know if there was a whole lot of talk about any type of changes the way the game was going. I thought we had a lull there after we score first. It got sleepy, it got lazy, lackadaisical, and I felt like we allowed Fiorentina to grow very easy in that first half. Do you feel the same way in that first half?
Agreed. I know a lot of people agreed with this as well, but like after we scored, it just became like we started going under pressure again. And it was like, what? Like we're supposed to have the momentum. We just scored. So I'm not
Yeah.
really sure why that happened. And then at halftime, I think Malta for some reason is like allergic to making subs. So I wasn't even expecting any subs at all.
Was there a sub you had in mind that you might have? potentially made at half?
Not really, not at half. I think it was fair to give the guys another 10, 15 to play out.
Yeah. I was thinking 10, 15, and the only guy I'd probably look at, and because a lot of sequences in the first half, not a lot, but several key ones fell apart at his feet, was probably Mbangula. Passes at the critical passes in the final third all fell apart at his feet, and I probably would have looked to make that change. But 10 minutes into a second half is probably fair just to see how things kick off. But he was the only one I think was on the radar for that. Now we get to the second half. We get to the second half, and now you've got Locatelli. So this is something key too, because we've got to pull it up here. Where Cope Miners is positionally right now, as you see the ball between him and Locatelli. If you look right at the top, at the sideline, Fiorentina was essentially shifting side to side in overloading the flanks so that you try and take that, try to force you out into the middle. This position Cope Miners took up, and the position he took up for the entirety of the second half, was way better. He got away from the flanks, and he actually got central between the edges of the area and stopped congesting other guys. Thuram is forward on this play. This is what he needs to do, is hit these pockets and find these pockets. It's going to make a difference. It was never a problem of necessarily who, but it's how. It continues to be how you're using guys, but Cope Miners has not been used as a true 10. So it's either shit or get off the pot for Juventus, because the way Nico and the way Yildiz played the role was completely different. Completely different. But this is great. Locatelli finds him here, and he continues on. We got Vlahovic still on. Cope Miners here, he immediately looks out to Conceição. And Conceição does have acres of space here. This is the safe play. That's the natural progression. For whatever reason, finally, we don't take the safe one and we try something a little bit more risky. He feints that way. He stops. He turns and looks to Thuram. And Thuram, we get a fortunate little deflection off a guy trying to cut it off. But again, it's a hard ball to cut off. It's dangerous. You know you have to be precise. Doesn't get to it. And Thuram slots home for 2. 2-1. Beautiful. Kick off the second half in style. That's the way you want to do it. Okay, great goal. Any comments on this one? Lex, again, Thuram, a brace.
Honestly, just ecstatic for Thuram. Like, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this team. Just absolutely deserving for him after his performance. I thought it was a great way to start the second half, like get an early lead. Yes, Coop Miners finally not playing that ball out to Conceição. I think we use him a lot because he's always in acres of space, but more often than not, it results in just a back across goal, which is fine. But I like that we play a little more direct this time. It was nice to see another goal come from some sort of direct movement or pass.
Yeah. It's there's so much positives in just this one goal that you got to look at the video after and they got to break it down. But getting away from that overload, recycling it back, and then immediately shifting that weight to the opposite side where the space is. And again, these mids getting forward if a team is hanging back defensively, and put them under, ask questions. It can't be just Vlahovic up top and the wingers pinned to the outsides. You're gonna have to have a presence centrally. So yeah, there's a lot of good in this goal. Now, oh my God, we just can't see it out though. We just can't see it out. So the slip. The classic slip that they are going to write novels about years later down the road. They're going to be talking about this Cambiasso slip, and this is where it all fell apart for one of the big, like this little starlet for Juventus, this gem. It all fell apart with a slip. That's how some were acting. Pump the brakes. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. After this slip, By the way, Locatelli's arms are not up because he slipped. They're up because he was actually calling for it and wanted it at that point. But then, of course, he slipped. This is the sequence following this. Now, number one, take a look at this because this plays a lot into what I'm going to talk about in the aftermath of this game. 86th minute. If you notice, Thuram is just above from the official. Just ahead of him, just above him. That's Kalulu. In the 86th minute, up 2-1, and he's going to rock out there, make a run up to the flank. Okay? 86th minute, 2-1. This is a slip from Cambiaso. Yes, shit happens, everybody. This is the following sequence. So, he's up, and he's goal side on Icone, who has the ball right here. If you guys take a look to the edge of the frame, right beside me and Lex, that is a leg. A leg of Gatti standing just ahead of the 6. Look at what's ahead of him. Mandragora with nothing but space about where's this ball going to go. Look at where he is standing with zero initiative to get forward. Now, we're going to continue going on here because everybody wants to focus on a damn slip. Savona forced to come in. Look at where Gatti still is. It's a shit show position. Everybody freezes. We panic. This is shambles here. So Savona comes in. He does his job. He forces Mandragora back to the opposite direction. Okay? But look, Cope Miners has now come in. But here's the guy, right? All along. And Gatti's still on the 6. He's still on the bloody 6 here. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's just scramble. Savona's sucked right in here. Our midfielder's now hanging back. It's an absolute gong show. It's an absolute gong show. The cross comes in. By the time it gets to Moise Kean, okay, he's marked by Locatelli and Cope Miners on the goal side, and Savona's ahead of them all. And I'm going to just say this. I love the kid. I respect the hell out of the kid. This is 86th minute. And Chico is at the top of the area here. With Sotil sitting right there. Not sure if Cope Miners even knows about it or what's going on here. But the communication, the positioning, everything was absolute shambles about this play. And then 3 guys not being able to win on a duel with Moise Kean on that ball bouncing around was an absolute disaster. And then in the end, Sotil absolutely hammers that thing. No chance for Di Gregorio. And it's 2s. Instant Achita reliving that goal 86th minute, okay? But there's so much there that just drives me absolutely nuts. But you gotta, again, it comes down to managing the moments and in game, and whether it's a young team, new coach, whatever, you gotta be better at managing a game. I expect you to be better at managing a game at this point, juncture of the season, going into January, better than you were at the start of the season. Yeah. Are we any better at managing games?
Honestly, I don't know. I had to say at this point because like you said, I can't believe we're going into January, going into 2025, and we're still talking about these situations like we did back in August. I think like this team obviously, clearly needs to learn how to win and how to see out games. I just think that happening so late in the match, it'd been a long time since I was like genuinely upset at the end of a match, and that goal they scored just literally sent me into orbit. I cannot believe that just happened. As you mentioned, Sotil left unmarked at the back post. I don't really care whose job it was. I think I would have wanted someone to pick him up, somebody to check their shoulder. And, Sotil also hitting the shot of his life. Like, I don't know when you see him be clinical like that, but he just happened to that match. Yeah, another draw. Just disappointing. A win that we should have had. It was an important 3 points, which is the other part about it that it's difficult to accept is that, especially where we are in the table and like looking towards, results for the end of the season, it was a huge game at
Yeah.
home. Like,
This whole thing, this whole secret, and like I said, that's why I wanted to get the most freeze frames on what went down after this slip. Is everybody's in such a rush and hurry to just pick out
mhm,
one single moment? But that to me highlighted a disconnect between manager and team and what you're doing. At the 86th minute,
mhm,
you do not lose your positioning at the back line and you lock that in. You can still attack, okay? We don't need
yeah,
Kalulu bombing out towards the damn flank in the 86th minute when a fullback has the friggin' ball with a defender or with an opposition player putting him under. There
yeah,
is no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that. And again, after the slip, there is
mhm,
multiple moments to regain composure, to organize.
yeah,
What the fuck is Gatti doing standing at the 6 yard line as if he's a
mhm,
second goalkeeper? Get up into the space. That would keep Savona over to the right, and it would keep your midfielders high. And it would also put you, the biggest guy we have there, in a better position to actually mark Moise Kane. It was a disaster. A disaster on that play.
Of course it happened all really quickly, but I'm surprised that like Di Gregorio didn't like yell at Gatti to get out of his way. That's something that I was just thinking of because I was like, I'm
Yeah,
surprised that he didn't like want him out of his 6 yard box. You'd
I would have
think
said
that.
get up, like push the line, like get
Mhm.
up there, go mark somebody. Essentially, you're marking nobody. It was brutal. Now, the most frustrating part of about this game, if I'm going to analyze this game as a whole, what infuriates me about this game so much is that we actually played well.
Yeah.
We played well and
Mhm.
should have won that game. Should means absolutely nothing in the game of football, okay? Shoulda, coulda, woulda, doesn't matter. But I do feel we played well enough to win. What's infuriating is that it's the same shortcomings. You're leaky at the back. You've got this mental beast, this mental monster that you can't seem to overcome, okay? And you're mismanaging matches. And it's just all as when you're leaking goals, okay? When you're leaking goals and you can't manage games and you can't kill teams either,
Yeah.
I don't care who you're playing, it's an uphill battle. And we can't kill games, we can't kill teams off, and we're leaking goals. So until it's sorted, it's going to be an uphill battle. That's just the reality.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that back when we had Bremer and it's at the start of the season, we were keeping clean sheets for a while, and that was helping us. So, like you mentioned, we were doing something. Okay, at least we're secure at the back.
What's
But
a
now
clean
that
sheet, Lex?
it's been so long.
What even is what is that? Can you
I
explain
know.
that to me?
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's been so long. And as you mentioned, we're kind of not really doing anything. We're not, being secure at the back. We're not scoring a lot of goals, being attacking as a result and finishing teams off. So we're kind of just doing nothing. So I feel like all the draws have been very fair to what we've been doing. Like there's kind of a lot of, yeah, not really being super successful on either end of the pitch.
I think you've got this lull, this plateau that happened, and as soon as you plateau that long and you start thinking, we went from
Mhm.
needing to break down low blocks and creating more into now needing to correct game management, stop leaking goals, sort out the defense. Do we want to play with a 10? Do we not want to play with a 10? Do you still want three mids in there? It's it's ridiculous. It's more problems have opened up the longer the season has gone on, which should be the opposite. Yes, Bremer injury hurts us, But we can't stop and just say, like, that is it and not improve, like, with the guys you have. So take Bremer out of the equation. With the guys that have been there, you got to find some type of progress with the guys that you have there. You have to improve them. You have to get better. It's like, obviously, we would be better with Bremer in the lineup. But the season must go on. There are still objectives to hit. You still have to play. So enough with talking about that. How is it going to get better with who we have? January window? Okay. Well, the news is Danilo is out. We're going to be bringing in 2 defenders. Okay. Let's see. By the way, and we'll get into it, I still wouldn't let Danilo walk. Still wouldn't let him go there. They can wait till summer.
Agreed.
That's just me. Lex, you're with me?
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't care if we bring in 5 defenders and he's not going to get minutes or whatever and he wants to leave. I will still hold on to you until the summer and then they can have you if it's a matter of 0. Otherwise, pay up or shut the fuck up. That's the way it is. Now, man of the match. Is it even in question?
No, it's not.
Miles and miles above the rest. And that's Thuram. Thuram. They give it to Sotil officially. You know what? Another day. Robbery. But anyways, Thuram was sensational. Him and Locatelli clear miles above the rest. But Thuram was insane. The sequence in the middle of the pitch where the ball's bouncing around and he's got 2 guys around and he's just like, he's heading it, he's kneeing it up, he's getting better and better, but he's technically good. If he figures out the final third, and yesterday getting a brace, he gets some confidence up there. I don't know, the sky's the limit for this kid. At least that is a very, very strong bright spot out of this match. Thuram's performance, I mean, we'll go through player ratings and everything, but Lex and I, easily man of the match. We're going to look at the ratings, and there are some players taking heat when we get to their ratings. But one of them is, Chico. Chico came under fire yesterday. We're going to get into it, but real quick, ratings across the board. Di Gregorio with a 6.6. That's fine. 6.5, 6.6. I don't think we're going to have any arguments there, Lex. Savona with a 6.4. Gatia 6.8. Kalulu ends up with a 7, the highest rating across the back, with McKennie at 6.7. I don't think Kalulu had a way better second half, but I actually don't think he had a lot of good interventions, like higher up the pitch. But at the back of the pitch, it was a little all over the place. So I don't think I have him. I don't think I have anybody across the back higher than 6.5, to be honest, out of those 4. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know how Kalulu comes out with a higher one. I don't see it. And to be honest, that's just this app. On other ones, he was lower. Locatelli with a 7.3. Second highest score to Thuram, who finished with an 8.6. Yeah. Those 2 were miles above. Conceição, 6.8. He got blasted pretty hard by some fans in his decision making and being figured out and needing to do more. How'd you feel about his performance? What do you think about those thoughts on Chico?
I think they're more cumulative. They have less to do with exactly what he did in yesterday's match and more to do with his play style overall, which I agree with to an extent. But the issue is, as we spoke about before, the nice thing about Chico is that you know exactly what you're getting from him. And he's very direct. And he's created a lot out of doing that, out of being direct. But I think that the flip side of having someone who you know what they're going to do all the time is that maybe the player can become a bit one-dimensional, which I do agree is sort of the case with Chico. My question is he not left-footed?
Yeah.
So I'm shocked at how often he takes the ball wide onto his right to cross it. I feel like he plays like a winger that's on a true side rather than inverted, because we can see that Mota likes to be inverted from the left side to cut in, and he's always taking it wide and crossing it back, which is surprising to me considering he's left-footed.
I
I
think
think
it
I'd like
depends
to
on
see.
what the defender's giving him, because
True,
if you're
true,
gonna lock up on a guy like that, that's tricky. And number one, you don't want him going inside, right?
true.
So
I
your
definitely
goal
don't
is
want.
to keep him to the outside. So if a defender's
Yeah,
not giving him the inside, or he can't get to the inside, you've done your job, because you want to keep him to the outside and you want to keep him crossing with his off foot. Because the one cross he had in the first half was actually dangerous with his left foot, and Vlahovic did get ahead to it but couldn't direct it to goal. That's another one on Vlahovic that probably needs to hit target.
yeah,
Free header, like,
yeah.
I don't know, 8-9 yards away. I expect it to hit target at least, right? And that was Chico cutting in. And then after that, it seemed that Parisi was like, okay, I'm going to struggle here. I'm just going to keep him to the outside. And the double team kept coming for Chico. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I'd like to see both our wingers not be glued to the sideline in general. But when I'm looking at Chico, he definitely missed some key progressions yesterday.
Agreed.
He missed Vlahovic on a run where Vlahovic was literally all alone. He didn't even see it because he's dribbling. He's got his head down, and it's just go, 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 go. And there are times where the decision in the final third, if that's what he's got to do. My big thing with him is he's going to be constantly facing double teams. He's not going to have it easy. And all our wingers are going to be facing double teams immediately. He needs to make the decisions quicker because the book is out on him. And everybody, so when the book's out on you, it becomes harder. So new guy, new face in the league, etc. At the beginning, it's like, okay, what do we got here? Boom, boom, boom. He's torching. Yeah, we're double teaming that guy like every chance. And if a forward happens to be close enough, we'll triple if we need to. That's why when he gets the ball, and yesterday, he did kind of tap into it a bit later on into the match where it's like, okay, you need to make your decision quick and go with it. You can't hold on to the ball, wait around here and whatnot. But the bigger issue I see here is not so much necessarily Chico. I mean, some of the decisions, yes. Some of the missed sequences, yes. But he's getting by guys still and getting the ball in. My issue is, how in the hell are we at this point of the season? And Vlahovic seems to have zero idea where he's putting the ball. Because he does cut to his right, and he's putting it short side on the carpet where we have nobody. Like, nobody's ever there. How many times did he do that yesterday? Cut to his right. He did beat Parisi. He did beat Adley if the double team was there. But he's crossing it to nobody. So that's my biggest issue is how do we hit this juncture and we still have no idea where this kid's going to put the ball? It's mind-blowing to me. Is he going to hit a trailer? If you're looking at Vlahovic is going back post or he's going center of goal. And he's never popping that over the top. He's just drilling them low and hard. I don't understand. They need to figure that out more. I'm going to be a little bit lenient on him and decisions and whatnot when we're so reliant on him to create or make something happen. He did miss Cope Miners, though, on a play where he's got to feed him that ball in a great shooting spot. So, yeah, I got to pick it up. Overall, my rating for him is probably like a 6.5. That's it. Nothing crazy. Cope Miners got a 7. I think a really good second half for Cope Miners. Way better positionally. You agree?
Agreed. Yep. Especially his assist.
Imbangula, 6.5? Probably a 6.
Yeah.
Even 6. Vlahovic with a 6.5. Substituted out for Nico. Poor Nico Gonzalez. We're going to talk about subs. I thought he was going to get gassed from warming up, for Christ's sake, because he was warming up for half an hour. What are we doing? Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Yeah, this guy was warming up for like half an hour. We end up putting Nico Gonzalez in at the 82nd minute. Fagioli, classic 89-minute substitution, and Douglas Luiz for Kefren Turam at the 89th minute. We did see Cambiasso obviously come in 63rd, and Kenan Yildiz come in for Imbangula at the 63rd minute. You know, not to say that the subs would have changed much or whatever. We still couldn't kill the game, and we had opportunities to kill the game. So I'm not going to get too crazy on the substitutes or anything like that. But I'm going to get a little bit in on whole Mota's discussion after the game. Because he said we pushed for that third goal. We pushed to kill the game. It didn't pan out. And then, unfortunately, we conceded. I don't want to focus on the defense and the errors and conceding. I'm sorry, what? What? What are you talking about? You don't want to focus on that. You better focus on that. Did you feel like we actually actively pushed to kill that game, though?
Not really.
I didn't really feel that way. Like, he's talking like we went gung-ho, like...
I mean, I don't think we sat back, like, in a low block, but I also don't think that we were, like, actively pushing for a third goal. Kind of seemed like the rest of the game did.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't feel like we really, like, were going all out or really pressured and tried to sustain pressure and pin them back and really, like, deliver balls into the area or drive into the area to, like, really get after it. It felt, I don't know, pretty safe. Felt pretty safe, pretty standard play.
Standard, yeah.
I would not say that was, if that was us going after it, like, trying to kill, I'm sorry. And again, management, young team, etc. I've heard it all. Can't kill games off. But again, we're leaky at the back. Mismanaging. Mismanaging isn't only from players. It's from a manager too. Your defenders need to be locked in positionally, okay? They need to be locked in positionally at the 86th friggin' minute. Chasing goals, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Your fundamentals can't slip. And if that's his idea of going after a third goal is moving Gatti around, moving Kalulu at that late in the game, there comes a point in a game where you just got to realize you're not going to kill it. And it's time to clamp down. That's why I always laugh because it's like, oh, we can't play this way, we can't play that. It's like, you have to be able to do it all. There comes a point, if you're 82nd minute, if you're 80th minute, you got to think about just doing everything it takes, button down the hatches and shutting it down and getting the result home.
Because sometimes killing off a game is sitting back.
Exactly.
Like, that's also killing off a game. So that's also part of the gear you have to move through in order to get to that point, depending on what the score is and what the game requires.
Exactly. So I don't buy into this thing that we were gung-ho going to kill the game that late. We weren't. It was just standard possession being shared back and forth still throughout that game. But it's a mismanagement from him and the players. It's and again, at the same time, when the players try to manage, they slow down so much that they stop moving their legs. And then there's no ball progression because nobody's moving because they think that's how you have to manage it. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But that late in the game is probably time to clamp down. But the problem is, and this is where we get into the problem, this team I don't think is solid enough to clamp down either.
And not even to, like, and what you mean by clamp down too is not take unnecessary risk. Like, there's no reason for Kalulu to be out on the wing in the 86th minute. Like, some commenter mentioning that it's risky to sit back on a 1-goal lead. It is, but what Berto's, I think you're trying to say, and what we've been saying, is that there's no need to take an unnecessary risk and to make sure you're locked down defensively in those moments. We were still playing out the back. We were right next to our own goal when the Cambiasso slip happened.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just about balance. It's about harmony. It's still not there. We haven't achieved balance. That's the reality. That's all I'm trying to say. And there's still some that feel, no, it's too risky sitting back on one goal. When it's that late in the game, it's one of those things you have to look at. Fiorentina didn't create a ton. They didn't create a ton. Honestly, that cross was brutal. Again, we allowed so much space. He crossed it in. The marking was piss poor. That's an avoidable goal. That's not us buckling. Fiorentina didn't create much of anything, really. You shouldn't have a fear, even in a one-goal game when you're in the 80th minute and again, you could still progress the ball forward. You don't need to lose your positioning in doing so. You don't need to get wild with where you're sending guys off to move the ball forward. You still need to do that. It's a frustrating one because we should have seen the win. But I'm telling you, the management with the team and the players and the coach, something's off. Something's off. They just can't find this balance. It's almost like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I feel for Motta in that sense. I do. But at the end of the day, we got to start winning some games, people. We got to start winning some games. Today, I saw Guido Vacciago from Tuttosport write another long-winded thing. I'm starting to get sick of this guy every game. After every game, these long-winded things. And he contradicts himself at every bloody turn. Holy Christ. It's like, Guido, we've been here for 4 weeks now, saying that this team needs to improve, whatever. And you've been telling us, hey, it takes time. It's patience, part of the project. Now today, all of a sudden, Guido... Hey, it's like he woke up and smelled the roses all of a sudden, and he's like, oh, no, you know what? Too leaky, unable to manage key situations through matches. Yeah, thanks, Tips. But I'm getting tired of all this. And we're too young, whatever. Listen, you have shortcomings. You have to correct them. Until you do that, we're going to struggle, everybody. We're going to struggle to get home results until we lock it all in. Mentality. If you don't think this is adding a toll mentally to this team, the fact that they're not finding wins, it's an issue. The one thing we had before is you could take a little bit of a positive in the sense that we know we could play better. We were getting draws, but it's like, guys, we can create more. We could do more. We can get a little bit better. When you play a game like that where you are better, you should be winning, you still can't get over the line, these are the kind of games that can actually be detrimental mentally. Agree?
Agreed. I think this, especially last game.
Yeah, especially this one with Fiorentina. I'm kind of concerned. I'm very concerned with the outset of this team, where their mindset's going to be now mentally, especially considering how young the squad is and everything. But I've never used the age of the squad as an excuse. I'm still not going to do so, but... Ladies and gentlemen, the month of January with Supercoppa going down this weekend, and then the following weekend, you're going to be Torino, which the derby's been not really much of a derby at all, so should be okay there. Should be. Atalanta, Milan, Club Brugge, Napoli, Benfica. This is a gauntlet. And those three matchups, Napoli, Milan, and Atalanta, have major ties to the table, and that's going to be massive. And now all of a sudden there's a little bit of a wild card in there that might also affect the mercato because Conceição has come in to Milan.
Yeah.
And by the way, Serie A, the drama, this guy got fired before the game was even over.
Mid-game. I'm surprised they didn't announce it at the San Siro. Over
mid-game, we got an announcement of a hiring out in media. The game's going on. What is happening?
I was like, I wonder if the players checked their phone. What if one of them checked Twitter at halftime and they're like, what?
Immediately in my mind is, Chico, don't you get any damn ideas about playing for your pop. Don't you get any damn ideas, okay? We're heading over there. But it's going to be completely different. Milan, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see the effect that has on Tomori and his future, one of the main candidates to be coming to Juventus. It could go away. Maybe Conceição says no. I want to roll with Tomori, etc. I still have a feeling he's probably not, and it'll probably be a couple of the other guys. But you never know. You never know. We just wait and see. But this is going to be a make or break month of January for Juve. There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been here for this period of time. Now, Skanga's been up here. Oh, I feel great, whatever. Oh, him and Lucci are out there dancing, enjoying some mojitos and whatever. And it's good. We're good. We got this. And I've been right here like, guys, yeah, sure. We're closer to getting up here. We're also close to being like way down here and on the edge of a crisis.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the question came up. Are we in crisis? Scangavino. We started calling him Scangavino with the lines he's feeding us. Are we in crisis?
I think we can be very quickly. I think it depends how January goes.
I'm with you. We can be. January will decide if we are in crisis, everybody. There's a ton of Storm the Barn. Love it. Fire away. We're going to talk about some players here. I want to talk about the lineup and everything. And some are saying, yes, we are in crisis. We're very, very close if we're not, everybody. We're very, very close if we're not. We look at the table. Juve's at 32 points after 18 matches. Fiorentina's at 32 after 17 matches. Bologna has 2 games in hand. They're at 28 points. Okay. Milan's got 27 points through 17 games. Now Conceição comes in. Lazio ahead of us, 35 points, with the same amount of matches of us. Inter's got a game in hand. They're at 40. And Atalanta, Napoli, we have got a 9-point gap there. 4th place right now. It is 3 points away. But, we've got to get wins. We got to start actually accumulating them in sequence, too. We got to figure this out. We have to figure this out. Do you make a change? Does something need to change? Do we need to keep going? What's going to get this team over the hump? Why can't Juve get over the hump, in your opinion?
Honestly, that's a great question. I honestly think a lot of it is mental. I really do.
Big time.
I really do think it's a lot of a mental block for a lot of the players, for the manager. I think that when you're drawing that many games and you just can't win, it's weird. There's something more to winning that is more mentality for the side. I think that teams, you see them start to become really successful and gain points when they find a way to win games, especially games that they shouldn't be winning. I know they always talk about that with teams at the top of the table. I really do think it's a mentality thing. Maybe it comes from a lack of a strong leader. And this is not in any way to diss Danilo, because I do appreciate everything he's done and been doing. But we've talked about it in the past, about losing those leadership values, especially players that have been through the era of success with the club. Maybe it has to do with losing that type of representation on the team. Maybe it has to do with the fact there's a new manager, there's new players. I'm not sure. But it feels like it's some sort of block these guys have, because the talent is all there in the group.
If it is, in fact, mentality, how on earth do you get them over that hump? It's a big thing. For me, we always go back to this one line, and now I see more and more people kind of using it even amongst our team. But teams are reflections of their coaches. If he's mismanaging a match, it bleeds down. Have we managed a game better than the one against Leipzig, which was early in the season? Have we managed a game better? Because if you look at the sequences that went down there against all odds, they still found a way to attack space. They went after it. They got what they needed, but they clamped down when they knew they got ahead. It was clamp down mode. So this thing about not being, and guess who left that game and you clamp down? Bremer left that game super early. Super early. You get a red card. Everything. Managed perfectly. The fight, the intensity, the attitude. You want to kill a game? You kill it when the game is there to be killed. You don't fall flat after going up 1-0. You could have killed this fucking game yesterday.
Yeah.
Your attitude, this push, this drive. At one point in the season, you had the balls to do that. In friggin' Germany, away from home, in Champions League. At home, in Italy, against Fiorentina. You go up 1-0, 19th minute. You don't have the balls to push and go to step on their throats. I have a major problem with that. Your mentality is going to suffer because you're not allowing it to develop. You want killer instinct, but you're not grooming it.
Yeah. I think we've seen them come back in moments of adversity, which is interesting to me because they do have strong mentality when they're pushed down and they've found a way to scrape a point out of a
That's
game
true.
or a win out of a game. So that's what I'm really curious about, how once it's like when they face adversity, they're able to like switch on and do it. But when they're the ones in the lead or the ones that are more or less expected to win, it's like they can't get past that pressure or that expectation.
It's wild. It's wild to see because you're absolutely right. They've shown heart. They've shown character. They've shown that willingness to fight back. But that's a different ball game. That's a different beast. 1-0 up yesterday, 19th minute there. And Thuram's kind of, or not Thuram, excuse me, Fiorentina's kind of like, okay, holy smokes. They just carved us up, just went in there and scored. And you allow them to grow in possession, everything. It pissed me off. So for me, this mentality thing, yeah, you see the thumbnail, all mental, this mental monster. And sadly, we keep feeding this thing. We keep feeding this thing, and this monster is growing. I don't know how you snap out of it. I don't know how you snap out of it. It's going to take the entire team. It's going to take the entire team, but we'll see. We'll see. It's all we can do. If you wanted to go back to a 10, there's a lot of talk about this. A lot of people frustrated that Cope Miners again find himself in the 10 spot. Lex, if we go back to a 10, is Cope Miners the odd man out of the midfield? Luca and Thuram, are they locks?
I think so. I think it's hard to argue that they're not. I really do.
It's a spicy meatball right there we got with old Cope Miners there because you ain't taking Locatelli off the pitch for me. He's not leaving.
No.
He's playing like a captain should. Thuram is getting better and better. If you're looking at getting a 10 in there, yeah, right now it's hard to go against based on form, Luca and Thuram. But Cope Miners can definitely have his share of the midfield minutes in rotation with either one of those guys. So I don't think it's a big thing. But in terms of, how he plays, if he plays like he did the second half yesterday, Cope Miners is got a shout to actually be playing in that role. If he plays like he did in the first half, where he's hugging the flanks and everything, he doesn't. So it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. But the midfielders, nice thing is that you do have those guys in discussions. McKennie at left back. Yesterday, I think, is a prime example of why I said that should not be a long-term solution for us. I'm happy he can do it. He can fill in. He's a utility guy. But my God, he was taking chances again, and he was left, again, game planning. He was left 1v1 with like Dodo several times, who just torched him. He does not have the wheels to keep up with a guy like that. And he's still caught in this aggressive mindset that he was getting skinned. Not a long-term solution for anybody in the Mercado that also feels good about saying goodbye to Danilo. even if we weren't bringing in 2 guys. I don't think it's a long-term solution there. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think I like him in better, more advanced areas on the pitch because I think he just adds so much. Like, I think it's hard to argue against taking him away from that. But it's nice to know that if we're in a situation where Cambiaso's injured again, that we do have a solid replacement. I think that is also really nice to have. But as you mentioned, it's not really something I would keep long term either.
Yeah. Storm the barn, everybody, and a giveaway. Because, God damn it, these guys keep drawing games. We got to lift up the positivity and the spirits, Lex. They put so much pressure on us, this team.
I know.
God, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I made a mistake of playing FC 25, my champs weekend, after that game, and my blood was just boiling, and then my champs weekend actually made my blood boil even more. That was a bad decision, everybody. Had a brutal weekend for matches. My word. Now, Soiree, if Juve fails to make Champions League next season, blasphemy, would you both pull the trigger on Motta? So everybody, the messages when I get my dad in on the call-in, so he called in after the watch-along, and he went off. Like, let's just, if you didn't tune in and see it, he went off, and he watched one of the playbacks and then was like, oh, it's Italian, but everybody's like English. So he went English, which is almost even more comical because the heavy Italian accent. But he went all in. And it comes up essentially in, his very emotional, high energy delivery. He wanted Conte in the summer. He never wanted Motta. He doesn't have a sense of belief in Motta. One of the things, and he didn't say it yesterday because it was pure emotion, and I've seen this comment out there a lot. Small-time coach suffering from big team problems. Is that what we have with Motta? Is Motta a small team coach? Do you see enough right now for him to be a big team coach? If we don't make Champions League, do you pull the trigger? My dad said there is no question. You don't get top 4, you're out for him. Lex, is it a small time coach? And do you pull the trigger?
I feel like it's fair to argue that. I think definitely. I think I would say if you're trying to start something, like if we're trying to build something, and this is who we're trusting, I think that you have to stick with him. That's what I think. I think we've had a lot of short-term solutions trying to go forward. I mean, if we don't make top 4, it's tough, man. It's really tough to say. It's really tough. I think, I'm going to say right now, I want to see how the rest of the season pans out. I think that if I can see some more promising results by the end of the season, even if we don't finish top 4, which really hope that does not happen, I think I'm keeping him. Where did Conte come from when we first hired him at Juve?
Oh, what the heck was the team? He came from nowhere. Anyways, I can't even remember the club right now. I'm sure the chat will fire it up with us. But yeah,
it wasn't a big club, right?
Yeah,
so
it definitely wasn't a big club.
I do think there's that to take into account. Whether or not you want to argue that was just maybe good luck or something, that he was able to be successful after that and lay the foundation of our great long success and run of Scudetti. But I just do think that I'm still keeping him. I think I want to try and build something here. I'm tired of short-term solutions.
Yeah.
It's my argument.
I mean, I don't think that he can't coach a big team. I don't think he can't do it. If we're talking about Champions League and top 4, that's a must. Mm-hmm. But where I differ from Papa Gio, who's pure emotion and all heart. God bless his soul. Where I differ is that it matters for me how we're playing
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the season.
Agreed.
Like if all of a sudden we're night and day to where we are now, we're finding rhythm, we're finding harmony, then I feel good. If we miss top 4 and we've literally spent the entire time complaining about the same shortcomings, I don't know if that gives me the confidence. And I understand that a game like yesterday, it gives people this feeling of hope. Like, this is what it could be like. This is like good. Like, it looked good at moments. There was some really nice play at moments. I don't think you don't get that from somebody else. Like, I don't understand, because you play a good game here and there. At the end of the day, I'm going to say it. Whatever method any coach believes that a team and the group that he has in front of him needs to play, I'm fine with, if you're making it work. And if it works for the players and everything is actually moving in the right direction. Right now, I just don't have this sense of trust or faith in exactly, but I've been the guy that's been complaining about certain shortcomings for a long time already.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, show me you can fix something. Show me you can come up with something. Show me that it's not one size fits all. That's not a one-trick pony. Like, show me something. So I'm right here. I feel like, yeah, it could be really, really good. It also could be really, really bad. So jury's out. If we do turn it around, though, and we're playing way better, like I said, which is one of my stipulations,
Yeah.
we should be getting top 4, though. So it shouldn't be a problem. Let's see. But I think the jury's out on Malta so far. I think the jury's out. Pierre, once again, I've lost all hope we will win anything of importance this year. No, I didn't expect a trophy, but at least some hope past December. Give me some positivity, guys, please. Oof. Alexis, might be you.
Oh, well, I think we've got the Super Copa coming up. So hopefully, I really hope that a good result, and who knows, even maybe a trophy, will bring some good vibes, moving past that stage, right? We'll give some good vibes for the team. So that's my hope. That's my positivity. See how that goes. Yeah. Other than that,
Positivity. It can be good. We've seen in game. I think that's what's really, like I said about this last game, that's a game we should win. We should win. That's why it frustrates me more than the draws before, because I realized we didn't play well enough. The other positive sign is that we continue to be in situations where we can get the result, and we should be getting the result and everything. We just need some indications and some signs from Mota that he is ready to go in the right direction, like ready to go against almost some of his philosophies, etc., to make this team take that next step. I'm not so sure if I've seen it so far, but with the 10 and that whole switch, we were hoping, hey, maybe he's seen the light. Maybe getting a playmaker in there changes it all for Mota. He's also running out of leash when it comes to injuries, because now pretty much everybody's back other than Bremer, Cabal, and Bremer. Obviously, it's not like other than Bremer. Bremer is massive, but you were keeping clean sheets without Bremer for a while.
yeah.
And that's kind of slipped too. And in the end, it's all excuses. Tired. These guys have played a lot of minutes. I don't know. If you count the minutes up for Kalulu and Gatti, it's standard for starting center backs. Got to sort it out. But the positivity is that we're not far off, People want to claim this undefeated thing. it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me when there's this many draws. Lex, you know that.
Yes.
But we're in position to get the results. And we're consistently in position to get the results. Stick to that positive, Pierre. And let's hope for the turnaround. You know, that's all we really can do. What else can we do? You want me to lace him up? I'll do it. I got one knee, but I'll do it. Jesus. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. What about Chico taking too long on certain passes and the last shot? Did he really need to take the shot? It's like I said, some of the decisions and everything, hindsight's 2020. He did what he felt he needed to at the time. That's something where you got to be very careful. If anybody has ever coached kind of at somewhat competitive levels, you don't want to ever, and I just think coaching in general, you don't want to tell somebody what to do and what not to do. Especially a player like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to like stunt the creativity. But you have to find a way to like have that understanding, to pick up the situational awareness. That's the best way I could put it. Remember Chiesa? Mm-hmm. He was a dribbler. Pre-knee injury, he even post-injury wanted to take 3 guys on, 4 guys on. He wanted to dribble. Situational awareness, trying to develop that while allowing them to still be themselves is a fine line. Right, Lex?
Oh, I completely agree. I think like one thing I want to mention going off of what you said about Chico is he just has to pick his moments. And I think
Yes.
that just comes with experience in playing in the league. He needs to choose his moments. I think if he does that more, the little bit of variety will also render him more successful when he is on the dribble. Because now, if you can also make a decisive pass, then now the defender has to also worry about you making that pass and worry about you on the dribble. Whereas if they think you're just going to dribble through every time, they know what's predictable, right? So I think he
Yeah.
needs to get a little bit better at choosing his moments about when to take his man on and when to give the ball up, because
Yeah.
in the end, it'll just make him more successful at doing what he does best. That's
Yeah.
something that I think that whole Chico question can be answered with.
Yeah, he's got to be more decisive, he's got to be quicker, but as far as trying to groom that situational awareness,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do it in the training sessions. And
Yeah.
that's why I still don't understand how nobody knows where he's putting the ball. Like how Vlahovic still has no idea where he's putting the ball. What are you doing in training sessions besides taking photos of the winning team? Let's sort it out. Let's sort it out, okay? I don't care that you guys can bag 5 on Toto the bus driver, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Do it on the friggin' pitch. Yeah, it's a tough one there, but situational awareness is the way I would put it. That needs to pick up with Chico. They need to find a way, but it's a fine line because you don't want to
Yeah.
kill the flair.
No.
What are both of your realistic expectations for the brutal January coming up? Okay, well, gonna put us on the spot. First off, Supercopa. Asked a bunch of people on the call-ins after the watch-along, do we beat Milan? Do we lose in the final? Do we win the Supercopa? Lex, you're on the spot.
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, we got to play new coach bounce Milan. It's
Yeah.
going to put a wrench in things, unfortunately. But I still think we get past them. I think that I know some people don't really care about the Supercopa. Fine. I think it's huge for this team.
Trophies for young teams, yeah. An average age of 24, winning a trophy would go a long way. Would go a long way. I think it'd go a long way for Malta as well, in the situation he's at, and just everybody in general. It can only be a positive. It will be very difficult. I personally see us making the final, and I don't know if we've got enough to get it over the line. I mean, we could. And if it's an open game, yeah. But, and this is where I get to, it's like, where's that confidence that now in an open game, we're even better than we were before? It's still not there. It's the same questions. I'm going to say we reach the final, though. And from there, let's just see. Let's just see. If we're going to talk about Serie A, Derby della Mola, I'm going to call a victory against Torino. Atalanta, I'm going to call a draw. Milan, at home,
Win.
I'm going to say win. Napoli, away from home. Man, they are. You want to talk about a team that's playing dire football, but they're finding results. We will definitely be on the front foot. We just got to break them. But they can hit us on counters, and it could get nasty. You're going draw? I'm going to go draw. Puts us at 8 points. I'll take that. Club Brugge and Benfica.
Ooh.
2 draws.
Can't go wrong with that.
What are we doing here? Draws.
It can't go wrong with predicting a draw.
I think we win against Bruges. I think Benfica might get away from us. Sadly. But Bruges is away and Benfica's at home, but our record against Benfica, jeez. Tough. Tough. Everybody get those likes up. Pick them up. Let's say you get 50 million for Dusan next summer. What would you do with the money? Personally, I'd go for David on a free, Castro for 20 million, and Nico Paz for 20. Can't go wrong with the Argentinians at Juve. I don't think Paz is going for 20 mil. I don't think that's gonna. I think he's going back to his owners. Getting David on a free would be a good play. I still have questions whether or not he can lead a top side, like lead the line for a top side. I'd love a free signing like him as a support piece. So I'd say if he's free, you get him. But I'd probably spend the money and go after like a Seshko. Jokeres is going to be a lot. But if you could get 2, utilizing a free on a guy like David, I'd probably go that route and skip out on like a Castro. If only we were in a position to get Retegui, would have been probably solid. I would have gone the Retegui route as a backup to Vlahovic and then deal with Vlahovic. Imagine bringing in another strong guy and having Retegui battling a strong 9 there would have been solid, right? But we wouldn't have got 17 million for a sale like they did. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do? What do you think about Dave? Do you all rumors suggest that we're going in on it, trying to at least sign him?
Support piece would be great. Agreed with you. I think.
Yeah.
I think Vlahovic needs it. He needs healthy competition. He needs someone who can take away some of those minutes. I think it's a lot for him. We need someone. I can't believe we've gone this long with just him basically up front. Yeah, that's what I got to say. And I don't know why these clubs sell to Atalanta at a bargain price. Like,
it's crazy.
As if they're one of them. They are not. Look where they are on the table. Like, I don't understand, but
yeah,
that's another discussion.
Should Nico start over Chico? In my opinion, yes. I said it even when Conceição was cooking and Nico was out. Should Nico start ahead of him?
I love Nico. I do. And you guys know that. He's Lex MC. But I would say it depends on what the game calls for. And I think right now Chico's making it really difficult to argue taking him off the pitch. So I would say not quite yet. No, for me.
I think Nico might have to start over Cope Miners and play in the playmaker role.
Yeah. See, now we're talking.
I'd probably do that before taking Conceição off.
Agreed. Nico in the 10. Yes, that's a good shout.
Yeah, I'd probably look at doing that before taking Conceição. Conceição's still very, very effective, everybody. The decisions and the end game, like, yeah, you got to work on that and you got to get better. That's part of chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we're in a position to sit Conceição. That's just me personally, you know.
Agreed.
To each their own, though. Sweaty, starting 11 against Milan. Will Papa Conceição be able to nullify the threat of his son.
Wow, he knows everything.
Yeah.
It's like personal, man. He's gonna know how to stop him.
Starting 11 for that game. And by the way, for the derby, we're going to be without Locatelli. Locatelli picked up a card, so he's going to be facing the suspension for the game. So he'll be out of the Derby della Mola. So that'll be, yeah, you can get your playmaker in there in that game and go with it, and it'll be Cope Miners and probably Thuram in there. But for this Milan Supercoppa at the back, keep it all the same. And we don't need to focus on a slip, and you get right back on that horse. Cambiaso at the back, Gatti, Kalulu, Savona, Di Gregorio, or Pedin. Let's put Pedin in there for Supercoppa. In the middle, Locatelli, Thuram. And I am going to put... Maybe you do start him off for that game, but I say no. I would put Nico in the 10 against Milan, and I would go Yildiz off the left, and I would put Conceição on the right and Vlahovic up top. That's my lineup. Any changes, Lex?
No, I'm copying you. Same lineup as you. I would do the exact same.
There you go. There you go. In the chat, you guys let us know. Savona, by the way, taking some heat for yesterday's game. Taking a lot of heat. I'm still okay with what Savona does. I think the balance needs to pick up from time to time. Occasionally the balance can slip and he doesn't support enough when he feels that threat at the back. And that helps Conceição a lot too. Even if you're as good as you are 1v1, you still need that support. But I'm going to say I'm sticking with Savona. I still like the kid a lot. I am very angry with yesterday's result. Hey, well, you're preaching to the choir, brother. The brilliance of Locatelli and Thuram resulted into ashes. This is not fair and an insult for the hard-working players. What do you think? I mean, it's shit for all of them, not just the guys that were on good games. I mean, you win as a team, you lose as a team. That's just the reality of it. It was shambles situationally. Positional awareness at the moment of the game. It's moments we continue to crumble. You guys know where I stand. Lex, people keep, like I said, Guido Vacciago will write an essay for everybody, I'm sure, in the coming days on how it's because they're young. But at some point, you just got to sort it the fuck out. And as a manager, as a coach, your team cannot continue to suffer through managing scenarios. Like, you've got to get it together. So it sucks for all of them. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be games where Locatelli isn't at the level he was yesterday. And the other guys are going to have to pick it up from him. That's part of being a team. It's part of being a team when one player fucking slips and you have 6 passes after and not ripping that player apart and realizing you couldn't bail him out as a group.
Yeah.
That's where we're failing.
Agreed. Completely.
We're shitting our pants in key situations. You got Gatti standing on the fucking 6-yard box. For what?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Mark, though. I agree. First thing I said was, I'm like, Thuram must be pissed. Like, you have that type of performance and then you lose it after you would have technically won the game with your brace. But he said it himself. He said, I would trade my brace for a win, right? So going back to the group, that's just what it is. That's the team sport. That's how it goes.
Time.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time. Yeah, and if he wants to stand there on the 6, give him the gloves. Give him the gloves and get Di Gregorio out there, for Christ's sake.
Did you see the Gatti back heel attempt?
Oh, God, yeah, I did. Hey, man, at all costs, that guy. At all costs. Whatever. Mark rolling in again. I'm not convinced about Di Gregorio. He should retain the ball coming in his direction, not just rely on punching the ball. This is not secure at all. Am I the only one who thinks so? I think goalies in general nowadays punch very often, like more often than I personally think they should, because I'm accustomed to obviously the best to ever do it, but like you come out, you grab that ball. But even Buffon punched a lot. A lot. God damn it. We all remember Peruzzi and the fucking, oh my God, punching that fucking ball away. Why? Why? I still have nightmares about Peruzzi punching that friggin' ball in that final. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, for me, De Gregorio's not like an issue. I'm also not a goalkeeper, so I'm never really honestly focused on the keeper, to be quite honest.
I
But
think he's solid. I think he's solid.
solid. I
Yeah.
think Tech has big shoes to fill, so I think it's tough to step into that role. But with Perrin and De Gregorio, I think we're pretty good.
I think as of late, De Gregorio is really starting to show his chops there. So I have no problems there. Thuram got robbed. Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Is Savona, so now we get into Savona, is ready to take responsibility of wearing the first team black and white shirt. Is Juve's shirt too much pressure on him? Do you think we need a proper alternative on the right back? I mean, in a perfect world, I'd like to see Kalulu out at the fullback. But right now, we just can't facilitate that. Because there is no chance in hell Danilo can play center back the way we want to play. He can only be used there. I also don't like Locatelli as a center back. He does not have the pace for it. He thankfully got a slide tackle in there on Moise Kean yesterday, but he got turned pretty easy and he would have been off to the races. What he would have done with it, who knows? But I'm not ready for that either. So with Savona, the pressure of the shirt and all that and everything, I mean, again, it comes up to the group and what you're asking of these guys, and when we allow him to keep it simple, it's great. But he needs help. In a situation with that goal that we conceded late yesterday, Gatti needs to man the fuck up and step up and say, hey, you stay to the outside, that's your role, and get off that damn 6-yard line and step forward to Mandragora there and be the man up there. And all of a sudden, you've got stability. And you keeping him where he's comfortable. He'll be at back post. But again, it's all about supporting one another. To just pick apart the individuals and say, they're not ready, he's not ready, he's not ready. It's a group. They've got to come together. Have they come together enough for you personally, Lex, at this juncture of the season?
The group, no.
And that's why I have issues with Malta.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is on the coach. That is on the coach to do, for sure.
Do we need an alternative at fullback? I think so. In January? I would like to see a center back that could play fullback as well.
Yeah, I would like one. Yeah. And that's not to say Savona hasn't stepped up and done really well, but...
Yeah. And that's why Danilo should stay for me. Mm-hmm. For depth.
Oh, yeah. You also don't sell one of your captains to Napoli in January. Like, what are we talking about? That's the other thing.
My goodness. My goodness. I love Kalulu, but for me, he is too bad in the air to be a defender at a top club. I think he should be our right back. Let the January signing be the partner to Gatti. Lex?
We need a center back in January.
Yeah.
100%. So I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see Kalulu at right back. I think it would be better for us. Get that ball progression on the outside there. Luis. Did Luis arrive at 10? What? Did Tim arrive at 10? What? You want to play Luis at the 10? I'm down. We get this question often. I think get him anywhere in the midfield, to be honest.
I want Luis to play. I'll just stop there.
If he doesn't have physical ailments, the guy can play. The guy can play, and he can deliver the passes, the risky passes that a lot of guys are backing off of. He could do them. I just need him on the pitch. Is it still a failure of a season if we win Coppa Italia, Supercoppa, made a run to the semifinals in Champions League, but crash out of top 4 or 5? Okay, what a hell of a scenario here. So we've won the Coppa Italia, and the Supercopa. We've made semifinals in the Champions League. Crash out of the top 4 or 5. Is that a failure?
Wow. Tuesdays, how do you come up with this one?
You're gonna be still losing out on major revenue for next season. Reaching top 4, 5 of Italy is a must. Is a must. Or we hurt what we're trying to build. You need the revenue. Need it. I would say yes with some silver linings or nice moments. Lex?
I would say we're just really good in knockout competitions for some reason. We just can't hold it in the league. I don't know. Yeah. That's
So bring on the Serie A playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, baby. Lex wants playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what we're going to be good at.
Playoffs. Oh my God. Imagine winning the Champions League this season and just like not being anywhere near qualifying for it in league. Oh man. You know what? That would almost be sweeter. It would almost be just hilarious. Not expect it at all. Oh my God.
I think a lot of Juventini would trade that if we won the UCL. They would trade a lot of things for it.
Oh, we brought that up yesterday because of Trim's little video with the Toronto fan club and everything. There was one guy came out, I'd trade all the Scudetti for another Champions League win. I was like, whoa, easy. Easy.
That's so funny. I saw that. Yeah.
My goodness. Do you think winning the Scudetto is out of our hands? Inter will be 11 points. Okay, I'm not talking Scudetto. Like, I'm going to be honest, everybody. It pains me. Yeah. But I really need to, like, dial it back. I need to, like, see 2 wins in a row before I'm even talking, like, top 4. So, yeah. It just... Yeah.
I'm going to say if we win against Atalanta in January, I'll entertain it. But right now, I'm not. But if we pull a result against them, maybe I'll entertain it. Maybe.
Win me 2 games in a row. Just win me 2 games in a row, okay? If you win Atalanta, Milan, if you win 2 and Napoli, like if you're winning 2 out of 3 and you don't lose the other, and you win against Torino, we could probably maybe talk about top 4 being better. But to make the push up there, 9 points behind now, and what we're doing, what we're seeing on the pitch is...
It's not looking like...
You're putting me in a tough spot there, Marky. Mm-hmm. Tough spot. What happened to Doris, the lunch lady? Did she get a swap deal with Toto, the bus driver? Was it... It was never Doris. There was a... How many women in Italy do you know named Doris?
I think it was Doris.
Was it?
I think so. I don't know.
I said Doris, the lunch lady?
Can you guys confirm?
RB is hell-bent on it was Doris. All right. Shit.
Oh,
are you guys taking anything away when it comes to our poor results at home as opposed on the road? I mean, I don't think it's all that better, to be honest with you, if you're looking at the opposite. So away from home, it's 4-4, and home is 3-7. You just played 2 more extra games. You draw 2 more away, you're in the same boat. So I think just in general, this team needs to get together. But the fact that out of 10 games, you got 3 wins at home, yeah. But it's all the same things, though, right? Whether we're away from home or we're at home, what we're seeing is the same. Lack of killer mentality, leaky goals, avoidable goals. So I'm not really honed in on home versus away. If we were 1 draw away from home and the rest wins, I'd be like, yeah, what the hell is going on at home, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it's 3-7 versus 4-4. Nah, especially not the way they played out and everything. I think what's frustrating me the most is we play properly like when Lex said earlier, adverse situations.
Mhm.
That's what pisses me off the most. You know?
They're reminding me of Italy.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Give you 25 mil and Matty Darms for Cambiaso. Oh, you earned yourself one of these. You earned yourself
Oh
one of
my
these.
god.
What's coming
Oh,
faster,
here.
Juve's Champions League or Maple Leafs wins? Oh my god, why you got to do this to me as a Maple Leafs fan? I
My
have
dad.
come to terms that is the one professional club I will never see win anything. Is my Maple
Yeah.
Leafs, okay?
Yeah.
Seeing all my other
Agreed.
teams win something, that's a team I know I won't see anything. We got two more, and we're ready to sign off. Romano has just confirmed Danilo isn't traveling to Saudi Arabia with the team. The Napoli transfer is most definitely going down.
Yes.
Lex,
It
I mean,
is.
we've
When he
talked
didn't
about
play,
this a lot.
yeah.
I do not understand, and I will never, ever allow, like,
No.
just personally, I would never allow us to do something like this. They can wait. We don't need to be doing favors for anybody. This
No.
is a ridiculous move to just let him walk. It's painful to me. Lex, your thoughts?
I completely agree. Why are we doing a favor for Napoli in January? I don't know. Danilo's still remotely serviceable a little bit. He was decent in the City game. I don't know. I just think there's no reason.
Yeah.
But
Adam, will you be impressed if we finish the season unbeaten? I hope we lose because I don't want to be the unbeaten team that didn't even qualify for Champions League, for Christ's sake. I'm terrified.
you know what? Maybe we need to lose. Maybe that's like what we need to do. Break the duck, lose, and then we'll start winning. Maybe that's it.
After stringing some wins together, I'm not ready for a loss right now. Unless it
We gotta
comes
stop
in
winning
the
them.
Super Copa and whatnot. Maybe they need to lose that. But we've lost in Champions League, so that hasn't done
True.
anything.
True.
I don't know. I don't know. This team, I tell you, everybody, highs and lows, and it just circulates like so quickly. We came out of the gate hot, and we were only needing to correct one thing, but cracks have developed, and now it's like patchwork. We need to lock in. The whole team needs to lock in here. But if we need a loss in Serie A, let it be after the month of January. Let's get something rolling
Yeah.
here and get some wins. Just give me 2 wins consecutively. That's all I'm asking for you guys. Football gods, like, come on. What are we talking about? Now, we got to give the triple kick giveaway. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Triple kick giveaway time. So we're going to remind everybody. Oh my God. Achita. Triple kick giveaway. This is what's up for grabs.
Wow.
All 3. But of course, there's going to be options that are available to the winner. And if you want to go after all 3, you might have to battle Omer on a little trivia challenge. Okay?
Ooh.
That could get you all 3. Or you could choose to maybe share amongst the community. Maybe you only want one of those particular kits. If you want all 3, you might have to beat Omer. It's like our own little Stump the Schwab. Okay? And Omer's the Schwab. Now, we gave some hints out. I'm going to make this. It wasn't going to be easy. This is a triple kick giveaway, everybody. I was thinking of a moment. I was thinking of a goal. And I gave hints yesterday. I'm not going to repeat those hints. We'll see if anybody clued in on the hints, who's really paying attention to the comment. We talked a lot about the player yesterday during the day. And I will say it's in the past. We talked a lot about Champions League. See some guesses coming in. Not yet. Haven't got it yet. We talked about a color. Color that would have been the kit. The color was blue. Talked about a player that got a new position. New position. the new club. Higuain goal versus Napoli. Nope. It's not it. Not it. This goal, not Tevez, not Ravanelli, not Del Piero. It was an incredible goal in Champions League. Vincenzo G. Blue kit, Champions League. Nedved. 0405. Outside of the boot. Punch into the top corner is the goal.
Wow.
Wow. And everybody else started to get it. George following. Alex P. hammering it. Guys nailed it. Solid nail, Vincenzo G.
Congrats.
Got it. Boom. Boom. Now, Vincenzo, I believe you have won a kit, have you not? I think you've won a kit so far. I might be wrong, but I thought you were the winner of another giveaway. So, we're gonna deal with this. We don't have to deal with it right now. Adam saying, take them. Take them. So, Vincenzo did win a kit before won the Gatti. I love how Adam's saying, take them, take them. Listen, Vincenzo, you'll have the option as we come off the show here to reach out to us and we could sort this out. We can offer it up to members of the community. You can try to take a stab at all three, or you could take one and we keep them rolling, whatever you want. But you'll have time to decide. Everybody, there's more kits to be given away. There's always something going on. Always something going on. No matter what, win, loss, or draw, especially draws, we've got to get used to it, is what it is. We're here. We ride or die together. AJC Army, all for one, always. Lex, hey, we got to start getting some victories.
Yeah, we
got to start talking about some victories.
Yes, please.
You know?
Please.
We got to start talking about some victories. We got to win. So, Supercopa kicks off on a Friday. We'll bring you a live preview. Okay? We'll get ready for that game and everything. I don't think I'll be able to rock a watch along, but you just never know. So, let's see what develops. But Supercopa would be nice. It would be nice. Do we have what it takes? Of course we do. We just got to figure it out, for Christ's sake. Let's go. Sort it out.
Do.
God damn. God
2025. Damn. It's a new year resolution for the club. Win.
Yeah. Another cup in the Inzaghi cabinet. Yeah. Put it next to the cardboard ones. I'm sure it'll look great. Listen. Let's see what happens. There's a reason you got to play them out on the pitch. Let's see. Everybody, enjoy your weeks. Okay, we're getting ready for New Year's. We're going to try and do a year-end wrap-up with the cast, hopefully on Playback. So stay tuned for that. There's a link in the description to go to Playback. We're going to put some together, all right? As always, you guys, the absolute best. Vincenzo G, reach out. Let's sort this out. And I would love to see a battle on trivia. I want to see somebody beat Omer in trivia and take him on. So let's see what we can do. As always, no matter what, everybody, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. We have this mental monster. It's time to slay the beast. Please, Mota, you guys, wake up. And for God's sakes, that's our own pitch. Take care of it. We got players slipping all over the damn place. Madonna. Toto, when you're not driving the bus, I told you to take care of the ground, Toto. Ma che cazzo te. Let's go. Enjoy your week, everybody. We'll chat soon.